All right, then. So now let's move on to the next question, which is going to be write a JavaScript function that takes an array of numbers and return a new array with only an even numbers, right? So that is what we have to do. So the goal is we have to write a function that takes an array of numbers as an input inside a function. Then that function should return a new array which carries only the even numbers in it, right? So that's the goal that we have to do. So let's write a function for that. So const native find even numbers. Okay, so this function is basically going to take you a new array in it. All right, then I'm just need to return a new array. In order to return that, I'm going to create a new array as a result. Okay, then I'm going to loop through it. Let I equals to 0, then I less than or equals to array dot length, then I plus plus, I equals to 0. Okay, so inside here what I'm going to do is if array of I, so we are going to access the very first position value, so we are going to access the every index value, then I'm going to divide it by using 2. If then I need to check whether it is reminder is 0 or not. So for the division, instead of division sign, we are using this percentage sign because we need to check the reminder. So anything which is divisible by 2, and if you get a reminder as a 0, then that's an even number. So we have to check the remainder, not the quotient. So that's the reason we are using the modulo sign, which is percentage, which is basically check the remainder of the division which is happening over here. If the remainder is equals to 0, then I need to put that into that results array. So results dot array push of that particular array of I value. Okay, then at the end what I need to do, I need to return the result. That's it. Then all I have to do is to console.log that particular number. So in order to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a list of numbers, something like this. We have the negative values as well as in this. So I'm just going to say console.log even numbers. Then I just need to say native find even numbers by supplying that numbers. Native function by trying the native method, which is the beginner level, something like that. So I'm just going to say node index.js. So that is going to give me only the even numbers, even if the number is negative, and if it is divisible by 2, of course you are going to get the remainder value is 0 somehow. So at that point it will be a negative number, sorry, the even number only. Okay, so what exactly happening over here? So let's try to understand over here. So basically we are creating a function which accepts a number array of numbers array as an input, right? So that we are supplying over here. Then we are creating an empty array in order to store the even numbers, the results, right? Then over here we are loop through each number. Over here we are loop through each number in an array using the for loop. Then we are checking condition where array of I, the position, the particular position value, if it is divisible by 2, and if its remainder is, if it is equals to 0, then the number is even. In that case we need to push that value into that new array, right? Then we are returning it into a result. So this would be our output, right? This is what our expected output, and that what we get expected. This is what we get expected, and we got that exactly, right? So here you need to note that the -8, even the -8, so the -8 is considered even because the negative number follow the same modulus rule only, no changes in that. That's the reason. Okay, so now how can I optimize this? So anyone can write this code. So now how can I optimize this code? By reducing the number of lines. So let's create that, the second type, so which is going to be the one-liner version. Let's say let's try to optimize this one. So let's say const find even numbers, something like that, right? Then this is going to be taking a function, right? It's going to take an array of as a input. This array, we need to we need to find the even numbers which is inside that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the filter method powered by the modern JavaScript. So all I have to say array dot filter method. Then I'm going to access one by one number which is inside that. Then I need to make sure that number which is divisible by 2 and that remainder should be equals to 0. If in that case, the filter method will returns a new array which matches that specific condition, right? So you need to understand what exactly the filter method does. So why we need to use the filter and what exactly it will do, right? You need to understand that. So basically this filter method over here, so filter creates a new array with all elements that pass, which is a test. This condition is the test. If this element passes it, then it will be added in that returning new array, which is cleaner and more declarative. So we don't need the manual loop or push in order to store the new value because it is already returning a new array, right? So let's check this out. How does it work? So I'm going to copy this and paste it over here. This is going to be numbers 1 and this is going to be modern JS, and instead of this I'm just going to find this. I don't need this number 2 at all. Let's check this out. Clear, and let's run it. See, native method also giving you the same output, and modern JS also will give you the same output. There is no changes in it, but the number of line is completely reduced into a single line, right? So you can decide which one you prefer, either this one or this one, right? So let's move on to the next question.